Trevor, listening to my learned friend, Mr. Manzo, who seems to be a political spin doctor, only speaks to one thing. It is not easy to be Baba. It is not easy.
Yeah.
Because then this is a tricky choice, a very slippery choice. He says if it is not Kalonzo, then the Kamba nation will not vote for Azimio. Well, that is a tough call. Sounds blackmailish, though. Well, I think they should allow the advisory council to come up with a formula, and especially if that formula then works in favor of Kalonzo Musyoka, it shall be well, because you cannot hold the advisory council at gunpoint and tell them it is either Kalonzo or nothing. I think that all these other candidates also present a good choice. And I don't know when Mr. Manzo became a character expert in saying that Martha Karua's demeanor does not augur well for the deputy presidency because she's
I did not say that. I say she's best suited for speaker.
For speaker, she's
a very good lawyer.
This is a speaker.
But you know how tough she is.
Yeah, she's tough.
She's a Pelosi kind of person.
I do not know whether a deputy president must be meek or complicated, because I think his party leader, Kalonzo Musyoka, is also complicated because, you know, we had the fourth caucus in the coalition just before registration, and he raised issues about consultation. It is that it was the toughest member of the coalition to come on board. He kept everyone waiting at KICC for 8 hours. So it will not be an easy deputy presidency as well, because then the president has to deal with a deputy president, a reluctant deputy president. That's probably another consideration should speak to. That Kalonzo Musyoka, His Excellency Kalonzo Musyoka, has made it difficult for the coalition every single minute. So I think a deputy should be perhaps easy, you know. But Trevor, on a more serious note, I think the advisory council has sufficient time to make that choice. And I agree with Mheshimiwa Kipruto Rapkirwa that numbers play into the question as to who should be a running mate. Numbers.
Yeah.
And in as much as you must also consider character, because you also don't want to have a deputy president who will run away from you, abandon you midway the 5 years so that you start a fight.
Yeah.
You must ask what each of these people will bring on table.
Yeah.
It must be scientific, it must be tested, and I think it must also be objective. The Mount Kenya question then comes into play.
Yeah.
Whichever candidate makes a choice of a deputy from Mount Kenya is likely to run away with the vote from Mount Kenya. That is the reality. And I think, Manzo, that's the reality, that yeah, if either Raila Odinga does not choose a running mate from Mount Kenya, it is going to be difficult to attract the Mount Kenya vote. But it's the same argument that Manzo is saying, that if you don't make a choice of a deputy president from Lower Eastern or Eastern, you lose that vote.
Yeah.
It's an extremely tricky balance.
Yeah.
Very, very tricky, Trevor.
But there are those who say that certain strongholds will not go, because you see, the thing is, in the last elections, realistically speaking, Raila did get votes from the Eastern, but did not get much votes from Mount Kenya. So then many people argue that his consideration should be the places where he did not have enough votes. Therefore, it's almost obvious that he should pick someone from Mount Kenya.
Except the tilting balance is, and I said, the Nairobi gubernatorial choice may play in for Raila Odinga, because then if you have a Mount Kenya governor, as we have now in Nigathe, that would play for a choice. And that would then give the second in command slot to Kalonzo. It is a possibility. That's a possibility.
Okay.
But also there's a possibility that Munya would be an interesting choice as well, in terms of newness and balancing between Mount Kenya and Lower Eastern, because you've never had a Meru on a #2 slot before. It would be a first, yeah, and perhaps would excite or cause excitement in the region, and would probably bring an equal number of votes if Manzo subtracts some. And I don't agree with Manzo that His Excellency Mutua and Honorable Bungilu and Kibwana have no political value. I think they have huge political value, except perhaps not on the same scale as Kalonzo Musyoka, but they will still bring some votes from Lower Eastern. I am sure with a proper campaign in Azimio, even if the choice of Deputy President were Munya or Martha Karua or Peter Kenneth, we can still get a sizable number of votes from Lower Eastern, including Manzo's vote.
Yeah.
Not at all.